thing to attack. It's like, okay, so I guess the first question is, why are you making a movie out of it?
Well, I was approached by a producer who's done a lot of Christian movies. He's done some other secular movies as well. He's a Christian. His producer, his name is Rick Eldridge, and he approached me and my co-author and wanted to know if we were interested in doing a movie because he liked what was in the book. He wanted to tell the story of what the Trump Prophecies book was all about. How it basically, I had got this prophetic word about the commander in chief, Donald Trump back in 2011. And how it led into a prayer movement and how it led into a miracle by God, basically, for Donald Trump becoming the president of the United States. So they started filming the movie. The movie comes out October 2nd and 4th of this year. It's a Fathom event. It's called the Trump Prophecy movie. Or they can go to the TrumpProphecyMovie.com and they can look it up that way. And it's a Fathom event. They go to Fathom Events, type in their zip code, and they can see which movies it's playing. Or which theaters it's playing at in their area. It's in about 1,200 theaters right now. If we sell out, I've been told that they probably will expand that and the number of days that it'll be shown. But it is not without controversy. I had warned them.
Wow, really? Didn't know that.
They started filming it, and where they were filming it, the students started protesting it, trying to get signatures, saying they didn't want to be a part of it. There's going to be a whole lot more than that probably coming that way because, they don't even know what the movie's about. They just know it's got the word Trump in it. You know what I mean? I have not even seen the movie yet. Mm-hmm. I've just read a little bit of the script, and I had to, as far as the technical advice, get the fireside right. But one of the things I want to also point out about the movie that I want to bring to light a little bit here, if you don't mind, mm-hmm. is we talk about our military and our law enforcement, which we love and respect and support 100%. We love them. But you hear a lot of that on the news about them. But what you don't hear a lot about is our firefighters. And one of the things this movie is going to point out is what firefighters go through on a daily basis, whether it's on the job or off the job, and the PTSD that they have to deal with. And that right now, what people don't know is that the PTSD in the fire service is beginning to rival that of the military. Mm. The suicide rate of the firefighters is beginning to rival that of the military. So I think some people are going to get their eyes open as to what firefighters actually go through on the job and at home. And if I can be a voice for those guys that don't have one, then hey, so be it. That's what this is all about, Mm-hmm. But I think there's going to be a lot to this movie. I think it's going to be it's a very patriotic movie. Come see it. I think you're going to get encouraged, it'll be about 30 days before the midterms as well. So
yeah, it's definitely good timing, and it's you can see the trailer now. Everyone definitely go check out the trailer for the movie. Yep. You definitely get the vibe that you're going to be talking about the hardships that the firefighters face. As you have gone more into this aspect of your life, has the firefighter part of your life, how are those two coexisting?
As far as me was a firefighter and now I'm moving into kind of
do you still deal with the difficulties of the firefighter life today, or is that behind you?
Yeah, I still deal. I was at a station. We turned 12,000 calls a year. I was down in the ghettos in Orlando, and we ran cuttings, shootings, stabbings, and people don't realize we run all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We see all that stuff on a daily basis. On a day, I literally counted them. I had 6 cuttings, a couple shootings, a couple stabbings in one shift. That's not including cardiacs, car wrecks, fires, or anything else that we run. So, eventually that stuff begins to take a toll on you after time like that, and years of that stuff. So, I still deal with it a little bit. I'm still, like, my health's not quite 100%. I'm still about 80%, 85%, somewhere in there, still dealing with a couple of issues. But, mm-hmm. God's getting me through it, you know what I mean? And that was part of my testimony, and people can go back to previous shows we've done where they've heard my testimony. So
yeah, definitely. What lessons did you learn as a firefighter that have helped you through the process of the book and now through the process of creating the movie?
Probably one of the biggest things is unity, because there is a brotherhood in the fire service. You're always going to have issues in any job you go to. The fire service has got its fair share of issues, but for the most part, it showed unity. And, I retired as a lieutenant, and one of my biggest things was building a team. I built many teams over the years in my career. And maybe that's part of the reason God chose me to help, with the army of God. I don't know. I really don't know why God chose me. I'll find out when I get in front of him in eternity. But the biggest thing I try to push is the unity, because that's the whole thing. We're not always going to agree on everything. You know what I mean? We're going to have disagreements, but the point is you you walk away from the table lovingly agreeing to disagree, but we're still the same common goal, and that's to take ground for the kingdom and hold it at all costs. We can still do that and disagree on something. You know, I tell people, I use this analogy. If I'm in a foxhole in a firefight, do you really think I care what you think about, or vice versa? If I got bullets flying at me, all I care about is you have a weapon you're shooting back. It's the same way with fighting fire. I don't care what your personal beliefs are or your spiritual beliefs are. If I got fire rolling over my head, all I care about is you're going to stick in there with me and not turn tail and run when it counts the most. So it's the same way with the army of God, you know. And that's the biggest thing is unity, 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 and it's teamwork. It's not about Sam Johnson. It's not about Mark Taylor. This is about the army of God. And when people start getting that concept that maybe, you know, we talked about this a little bit in the pre-interview, when you start getting the concept of the team concept, that this is not about me. I may have to make a decision that affects me negatively, but it affects the team positively. And it's all about the team, the team, the team. And when they start doing that is when you'll start seeing unity. And when we start flowing in unity, we're unstoppable.
Well, I guess I'll forgive you for not putting the Sharpton Report interview in your movie then, if it's all about the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but I agree. You know, obviously it's about unity. I think we're seeing, I think you are seeing that trend grow too, of more people just searching after truth, even when it comes to the not necessarily Christian discussions, just the overarching growing of podcasts, the long form interview becoming more and more popular. They're just talking about different ideas, even though they disagree. You have the mainstream rise of the intellectual dark web, with those guys kind of just talking about and disagreeing on a ton of different things, which is like a little out there, I guess, for our show. But that idea of being able to just talk about different ideas and really search the truth, and you are seeing the dying down of the fear mongering, and the what gets clicks is no longer, the world's going to end right now. It's more of, all right, this is what's going on, and this is how we step up and take it back, and this is how we actually battle.
The doom and gloom. The doom and gloom is no longer doing that now. It's the positive message that, you know, look, we got good things ahead of us, period. That's the bottom line. And, you know, I've got people that blast me for saying that all the time. You know, America's under judgment. America's going to end, you know, it's doomed. No, guys, we have good things that are coming. We're already seeing that in action, that God's already putting in action what he spoke was coming. But that doesn't mean to say that bad things are not going to happen in the meantime, in the process of all of that. So, but that doesn't mean that it's judgment. What it is that we have a real enemy that we are facing right now. The deep state, the cabal, the Satanists, the Luciferians, whatever you want to call them, they're all working for the same team. And you can subcategorize them however you want. I say keep it to KISS theory. You're all part of the kingdom of darkness. And they're kicking, they're screaming. And we are having an effect on them like never before right now. This is probably one of the largest spiritual battles since the death and resurrection of the Lord himself. But it's also a rescue mission. And this is what people have to realize. This is a rescue mission. You know, if you have that escapism mentality and you're sitting there praying, you know, oh, Lord, I just wish you'd come back. Things are so terrible. Well, how about those guys out there that haven't been saved yet? It's our job. This is why I have a firefighter's mentality. This is what I try to instill in people. You have to have a rescue mentality to go out and get these people. It's our job to go get them. God's wanting to do something right now on the earth. This is why I believe we have been gifted with a measure of grace and mercy right now, of time to go get them. And you can't do it by sitting on your recliner twiddling your thumbs, worrying about when this is going to happen, when that's going to happen. Stop worrying about it. Jesus said to literally occupy till he comes, and you can't do it by doing nothing. But this is a rescue mission, so get the rescue mentality. Yeah,
and it's even more frustrating is when you see people pushing, like they're just like, they make things to intentionally divide people and be divisive, and you see like memes all over the internet of just like really poor arguments just to trigger people and make them upset, and the media saying, oh, every single person on the left is evil and has bad intentions. And then you see the other side of the media saying everyone on the right is evil and has bad intention. It's like, no, we have to start thinking about it differently. Like they're people. We have to go out and rescue them. We have to be able to reach across whatever differences you have and understand that we have to fight for one common goal, that Jesus is Lord, and that we want him to be the one in control over our country. And just this idea of saying, oh, libertards are wrong all the time. It's not helpful. It's just gonna further push you further away from the people on the other side who are in large part very good people. A lot of them are just deceived on certain topics, and that's why we joke about, it was kind of a joke, but in reality, when people like the Right Wing Watch, they try to go after us or write nasty things. It's like, I just feel bad for them, because I want them to have the love of Christ, and I want them to have that peace inside of them, and they just don't if they're writing hateful articles like that.
Right. And the bottom line is this: we're not going to be able to save all of them, but that's not up to us. Mm-hmm. That's up to the Lord to decide. He's the judge. Our job is to go in and effect a rescue. If I go into a house fire or an apartment fire, and I walk in and I dive in a window, or I'm diving in the front door, you know what I mean? And I've got one room left, and I'm searching. I'm searching like crazy, looking for a baby or looking for an adult, whatever the case may be. Again, I don't care. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your creed is. I don't care if you're homosexual. I don't care if you're transgender. I don't care who you are. It is my job to go in and put my life on the line for that person right there. That's what I signed up for, period. And it's the same way with the army of God, and the army of God, or the army of God has usually got this. They're more mature. It's the body of Christ you have to worry about, because they're two different things. So it's the body of Christ that wants to go on the attack all the time. Attack. It's like, look, you've got to stop attacking and go into the rescue mode. So I go in, I'm going to rescue that person. Let me show you. I'll give you another analogy just so they understand what this looks like. If I roll up to a house fire as a lieutenant, and I got the family outside, and I got fire blowing out of about 3/4 of this house, the family's screaming, there's somebody inside. If I walk up, and this is what most churches do. This is what they mostly do, because when you attack one person in a family in a church, you're attacking the entire family, and you get whole families that leave the church because you've just attacked them for no reason. So if I roll up and I see all this fire blowing out, the family's screaming, our kid's inside, and I walk up as a lieutenant and I say, do you believe in pre, post, or mid? Do you believe that this is going to happen in the book of Revelations, or do you believe this? And they say, no, I'm sorry, but I can't save your child. I can't help you right now. Brother, that is literally what you're saying to these people, because I'm sorry, I can't help you because you don't believe the same way I do. You don't have the same theology that I do. So now they take an offense, they go on the attack, and these people are wounded and hurt, and they leave. That's exactly what happens. And now that person's left to burn to death, literally. So there's no salvation, there's no deliverance if you were going to deliver that person. Versus if I walk up there in the front yard, I don't care who they are. I don't care what they are. I'm going in, period. Greater love has no man than he has that he laid down his life for his brother. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing. I'm going in, period. I don't care. That's the mentality the church, the body of Christ, needs to have.
Yeah.